Hello everybody, Stomach2012 here. Now today's day going to be very different because I'm going to be playing my games, but I'm also going to be telling you guys a story. So this is going to be like story time. Let's start this game. Alright. The first story I'm going to tell you guys, like the first thing is yesterday when I went to the lake. And now, so what happened yesterday was the day before we were, my mom had the idea to take us to the lake, and we thought that was a good idea. And so we woke up very early in the morning because we were supposed to leave at like 7 o'clock, and I was like really tired, and like I didn't want to get up, so I took a shower. It was like very nice, clean. But then after I got up, I got dressed for the lake, and then we were packing up, and my mom made sure she had everything, but she know that was it. So yeah. So we're all packed up in the car. I got my headphones, my phone, everything I need to like for the trip. And then then my mom made sure we got out of the car and checked everywhere to make sure we had everything and stuff like that. And then we my mom, she packed basically everything that is for the beach, but not for a lake. And she almost brought a floaty, but we told her that we could bring a floaty to the lake because they don't allow that. And then she left floaties. So we're on the road, and while my mom is like driving the car, she suddenly like starts remembering stuff that she forgets. She always does this thing where like she like thinks that she got everything, but she doesn't, and like she has to curse out and yell out what she forgot. Like she always forgets everything that is important and that what she thinks is packed. So yeah. But while we're on the road, we stop at a gas station to like get some ice for the ice chest, and then we had, and then we're back on the road. Until then, while we're on the road, my sister and her friend were talking. I was like doing some. I was like doing something on my phone. I was listening to music. I tell them my mom said to my sister, Cameron, make sure you're not on your phone on this hill, Cameron, because we were driving down a steep hill, and I was confused why she said that. So I continued listening to my music, and then nothing happened, and I was confused why she said that. Then, when we get there, my mom was very confused about where the parking lot was. Like my sister Ryan had specifically told her where parking spots. But she forgot. Like, she was like looking everywhere, but then she found my sister Ryan's car, and then we finally get there. So we packed everything out, but the hardest part was to take everything at the spot that we were supposed to be at. Like, that was the most hardest part we had to do. Because like that ice chest I had to carry was heavy. Like, it was really heavy. Like, I had to be like, okay, I gotta carry this ice chest car. So like, I was carrying it down the hill until then, like, the ice chest knocks me off. I'm sitting down and it's rolling down, and my sister and her friend had to run down and get the ice chest and get me. While we finished doing that, we finally get to the spot that we were at, and it was pretty close to the water, but my mom felt like that it was a good spot, but like, I was like, no, I'm not moving that ice chest again, so we had to stay. But while we're relaxed and like we're having a cool day, until then, like, out of nowhere, I wanted to eat a sandwich because I was like really hungry. And so I grabbed a sandwich until then, like, wasps started coming around until then I figured out that the sandwich, until then wasps started forming around. Until then, I'm really scared of wasps. Like, I'm really scared of them, and so then, like, I hate wasps. So like, I put my sandwich down to cover myself from them. So then, like, they were like, and then my mom said, they're gonna fly away from you, Johnny. But I was like really scared until then my mom said, get in the water and they won't get you. Until I get into the water on my sandwich. And then when I threw my sandwich into the water, and like, I had to pick the sandwich up and throw it in. So that was kind of nasty. But I told my mom it was survival instinct. Not eat a sandwich. So then I finally get into the water. The water was pretty cold, and I always do, but I never go in fast. I go in slow. So I always do that. And this time it was like really like cold. Like, the water's really cold, but my mom told me that it will get warmer throughout the whole day, and I just got in. And so then, like, I started sitting down in the water. Until then, I sit down and I fell down, and then I get wet all over, and I get wet and cold, and it's like the water's like freezing. Until then, I finally get used to the water. Until then, the next thing was that we finally had fun. Me and my sister were sitting on pool noodles, and my sister was kind of worried because we were worried that we were allowed to bring pool noodles into like the lake, just like how we were allowed to bring uh, floaties into the lake. We thought we were allowed to bring. What the? Anyways, we thought we weren't allowed to bring floaties into the water, so still waiting for my mom's friend Michelle to come here, and she was like right, and chill. Until then, like, until then, when I was like walking to my chair, she just like popped out of nowhere and like um. So she's finally here, and she needed help with some of the stuff that she got in, and to be honest, I would rather carry her stuff than our stuff because her stuff was easy to carry, and then we like it was pretty easy to carry, but my mom wanted me to not carry stuff because like she said it would be too easy, but Michelle wanted me to carry stuff, and then I carried like a bag and then their ice chest, which was extremely like not heavy. Until then, we finally are settled. Until then, I decided to get out of the water for a while because like I'm tired of swimming, and so then and my I knew it was summer, but like I didn't know it was gonna dry off that quick. Yeah. Until then, like I'm relaxed. There's none of the above coming near me to swarm me, and I finally get to eat a cold sandwich. But I got a little full by drinking like 3 Capri Suns, and like I decided to wrap around with the napkin and then save it for later. And then later on, I finally get back in the water, and the water was freezing cold. I thought that would be a good idea. Until then, I until then, I finally got out of the water a third time to like on my phone doom scrolling. Until then, like, until then, my mom's friend Michelle and her son were leaving, so we said goodbye. Until then, I'm still on my phone. I'm relaxing and stuff like that. And until then, we're relaxing and stuff. And then we were until then we were how to explain. We were like I don't know how to explain it, but then I finally got in the freezer and then got a soda, and then my mom said, "Oh yeah, drink a soda," but I thought I wasn't allowed to drink the soda because the last time I drank the like the last, I drank like soda, like the whole bottle, which was almost empty, and like they got mad at me for it, but like just to realize that I was allowed to drink the soda, like I got really like mad about that, but like then I finally started drinking soda and maybe felt better. Until then, while I'm drinking the soda, I like put the Dodger hat I brought wearing while I'm wearing my Dodger hat and drinking soda. I felt like I was my dad when he was here, and like I started imitating my dad, like, "Hey, Jelly, you watch the game? No, okay. Hey, Jelly, you watch the game?" And like I started acting like my dad and stuff like that. Until then, so I finally get back in the water, and like I didn't go fully in. I just like standed up for a while to like get used to the water. Until I finally like got into the water, like got in like dive in. Until then, like I'm swimming around, everybody. I don't know. Is that the sand? Is that the sand sitting down in the water? like talking while I'm swimming until then under when I dive in I see this big rock and I decide to pick it up. And like I decided to pick it up and bring it over and my sister Ryan, she was collecting rocks to skip them. So, until then um until then she finally saw the rock I picked up and like she was shocked to find the big rock, but my mom told me to put it back. So I went back to the same spot and I picked it up and I high it up, hold it up on the ground, and then threw it down the water, and then like it made a huge splash, like a really huge splash. And then finally, the end of the day comes. We got out, we were packing, we got to the car, and then while we're at it, I felt like really tired when I got out of the water. I got really tired and like when we get to the car, but and when we finished packing up, I was like falling asleep. I fell asleep during the car ride, and then when we finally get there, I was like really burnt out, and like I, and then, and then, and then he. Until then, like I was like really tired. Until when we get home, I get on my bed to relax. Until I get on my phone to see what happened, and then like tell them my sister Ryan was so kind enough to bring us ice cream to like relax, and then like tell them like she was so kind enough to bring it to me, and then like I had some good ice cream, cookies cream. Until then, I finally got up to shower, and I took a nice, refreshing shower. I scrubbed my pits and my cheeks, and then I finally felt refreshed, but I was still tired. And so then I finally got back in my bed, and then I finally went back to sleep. So yeah, that was basically the whole story. So that's it. We're done. Yeah, that was basically yeah. That basically was the stream yesterday. That was the reason why. Basically it. That's what I was saying. But yeah. So that's basically the whole story. Yeah, that's the story I needed to tell you guys today. But I'll tell you an extra one just in case. I'll tell you the story of the first day of school. So, the first day of school, my mom wakes me up and like she's banging a pen, and then she's like, "School day, mother." And then like she was like really excited, and then she was like banging the pen around to wake me up. And then like I got so annoyed by it that I tried to cover my head with a pillow until like she grabbed my legs and then pulled me to the bathroom for me to take a shower. And I finally take a shower and I'm still tired, and then me and my sister are looking at each other like, what are you looking at? Who are you looking at? And then my mom makes us breakfast, and like until then, I had to get ready for the morning, so I brushed my teeth, brushed my hair, everything, got my hat on, everything, and then I got everything on. I'm ready for the day. I told her my mom wants us to take a school picture, but I decided not to take it because it was too hard. And then I was like instantly tired. I felt like that it went too fast and stuff like that. And like I did really like how summer was this year. Yeah. And then my sister Ryan was still driving. She was still using my mom's car to drive herself to work. And then I was like really tired. And then to school and everybody's like lined up and stuff like here until then, like not be home bothering mom. Please take me home. Please take. Only opening the gates and then I go through the scanner. Related to a gun or a knife and like beep, I'm walking through then nothing and then before. So like in and out where they had those now for they didn't have those before. And Robert and then we're talking and my first period class PE. And so like I finally get to PE, but I'm confused about where my PE teacher was because I was looking everywhere. So I asked the PE teacher, "Excuse me, do you know where my PE teacher is?" And he said, I think it's between. I think it's in the middle, next to Cook, in the middle." And I finally sit down. I tell them like, I see some people from my old school that I did had in my classroom last year, and then finally our PE teacher came out, and I didn't know she was a woman. And so then she comes out, and then she's holding a chalkboard. And so then she actually did not. She actually did something different. She called our names and gave us our schedules because the school didn't give us the schedules when we came into the school. And then she gave us our schedules, and like we're walking in, and so then we're like walking, get in line in alphabetical order, and I already hate that because I hated how like we had to get in alphabetical order. Like the bad thing is like if you're hypothetically if you're in like a fire, if there was a fire at school and then two kids are debating which one is in first in line, and you're just like in the back getting burned in smokes, like you have to stand in alphabetical order. And then we're finally in line and stuff like that. I like and then she's like, "Morning class, welcome to my class this year, welcome to PE." And I know some of you have been here last year and some of you are new, so raise your hand if you're new. And none of us raised our hands, like all of us have been here last year. And then here last year, and then we all like did raise our hands until then she was like, "Oh, all of us have been here last year." And then we're all just standing in line, just like looking depressed of school being here. I tell them like, she was like, "All right, everybody get in line now." She was like, and then she was like, I tell them I didn't even like, I wasn't even like doing anything on my phone. I was just like listening to music on my phone, and like I'm listening to music till then the bell rings, and then finally next period. until the next period, my second period, I have film study. Now, if you don't know what film study is, it's like this class where like you like watch a movie and then you have to write down what's happening, like the life lesson and stuff in the movie, and like telling our teacher, Mr. Palika, I had him last year, and then he was like, "All right, welcome in class. I know I had some of you last year," and and then he like points at me and then he says, "I still remember you last year," and like everybody like doesn't know me until then like he was like, all right class, the first thing we're going to learn through today is like we're basically going to be watching a movie, and he explains like all the movies that we're going to be watching are Disney. So everybody's looking depressed and I'm also looking depressed, and so he's like, I know you hate Disney, you don't want to see a princess singing, but like we're like, he also told us that his high schoolers also were allowed to watch PG-13 movies because they were older. But the school did allow us, like us minors, to watch PG-13 movies because like they have cursing and stuff. So they made us watch like Disney movies, and like he like, and he said he understands us of us not wanting to watch Disney movies until like he finally like explains about what this class is about. Until then, boom, next period, science. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, he's a pretty cool teacher. Like, and he told us that he used to be like, he used to work at a zoo, and then like he told us everything about him. He did a thing where he asked, like he called our name, and then he like asked us what was our favorite thing we did this summer, and I told him what I did, like went to a Dodgers game, and then he said, "Oh, you're a Dodgers fan?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Who else is Dodgers fans?" Everybody else raised their hand. Oh, it's Dodgers fans. Until the next period comes. Ding, ding. U.S. History and Geology group. Now I have some of my friends in that class, and so then my friend Robert told me, "Hey man, he might seem like a cool teacher, but when those doors close, he's very strict." And like, and so then like but like when he was like when he started teaching us on the first day, he seemed pretty chill. Like I just him be very strict, and I didn't have my phone now, and like he was pretty chill, and like he was also a Dodgers fan, and like he was pretty much chill, and like he made us do the assignment where like we had to write down the name of every state in the United States, like every state of the United States, and it was like so hard because I didn't finish it. I had to finish it. It was like so difficult. Until then, what I did not like this of the first day is that we have fourth period first and then lunch. Because last year we had like third period first and then lunch and then fourth period. Third period first and then lunch and then fourth period. And that's what we had. And now we have fourth period first and then we have lunch. Like, I feel like, anyways, I had lunch, which was like chicken and rice. I only ate the chicken. I didn't eat the rice because the rice was too nasty. Until then, fifth period comes. Ding! Fifth period comes, and I had my class switched, but I don't remember the class I had on the first day. And I don't remember the classes, but I do remember in sixth period I had math for sixth period. It was math for sixth period, and she was Mexican, and she was a pretty cool teacher. Until then seventh period comes, and then seventh period I had an English teacher who was thankfully also a Rams fan. Until then, at the end of the day, the first day of school was pretty cool. Like I had some cool teachers, but then second day comes, I had to have my class switched. Until then, the second day, everything goes normal. Until then, third day, I had my class switch. I had my whole class switch because my mom wanted me to have active care, which is like a thing where like they'll help me with some of the work that I need help with, and like that. And then until then, like I had my classes switched, and like I had a whole new like schedule. Until then, some of the classes I still had film study, I still had PE, I still had Mr. Anderson, I still had U.S. Geologically. I still had the same teachers first of all, sixth, but fifth to like seven, I had my classes switched. And so in my new classes, for and so in my new classes, they were so let me just bring up my new schedule. My new classes, for English for period 5, English for Mrs. Gallagher. She was an English teacher. She was a horrible person. Like, she doesn't care what we think and what we think. She just cares that, like, that she's teaching stuff. She's pretty bad teacher, and everybody doesn't like her. I told her, sixth period comes Mr. Price, for math, and he's a pretty cool teacher. He's a pretty cool math teacher, and the one thing he did was, and the first day I had him, he like did this thing where like he called her name and he asked us what our favorite color was, and I told him, and then when we tell him our favorite color, he would sing a song that represented the color, and it was so like cringe, and like everybody cringed throughout the classroom, and it was like so funny. Until then, seventh period comes. I have Miss Curry. Miss Kirby. I didn't know she was a woman either. I thought like it was a man, but I didn't know she was a woman. So like, she was like a pretty chill teacher, and then I had my friend Robert in that class also. Until then, she was a pretty cool teacher, and yeah, I guess those were my new classes. But the one hardest thing was to have my mom sign my papers from my new teachers. That was the hardest. Yeah, but yeah, that's it. That's story time. That was basically it. That was basically everything I needed to tell you. So yeah, goodbye everybody. Solid Branch, out.